Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to our season 2 of the Creative English Club meeting, where we'll be talking about creativity and communications in a global scenario. So let's get started. Welcome again, everyone. And before we get started with the real talk here, I just wanted everyone to get to know who is in the panel today. So, both myself and all the mediators that we have here today. And first, I would like to introduce to y'all Gabby. So, welcome, Gabby. For those who don't know her, she is a member of the Redhook Creative Community, and she is the social media person you need to call at when you need anything social media related. She's been working with it for more than 4 years now, and though she started her career in Brazil, in the north of Brazil, she's now living in Portugal. So that's Gabby, and some of her special interests are also include baking. So if you also need some Brazilian desserts in your party, she's the girl to call. And welcome, Gabby.
Thanks, Mari. Hi. Hi, guys. Sorry, it's because I am Gabrielle, but since I became a Redhook member, everybody calls me Gab. So, the person that I want you to know is Valeria, and she's from Peru and came to Brazil to do an exchange. And I think she really liked her pão de queijo and brigadeiro. That's why she decided to stay in Brazil. Is it true, Valeria? Yeah, guys, she's been in Brazil for 5 years and she has a degree in marketing and is currently working customer success. But she told me that she's transitioning her career into planning and branding. And I also asked her about her hobbies, and she really liked to cook, to watch movies and series, and dance. I think Red Hook members are always people with a lot of skills. What do you think?
Hi, Gabby. So I moved here to Brazil just for publications and also for love. So I'm here for, like you said, for 5 years. And you said correct everything because I love to cook and I'm doing exactly this transition, trying to move career from customer success to the area of communication. And yes, I'm Peruvian, and so I have my native language, Spanish, and English is not used to be my second language. Now is Portuguese, and so I think you already say everything, Gabby, about me. Um, there is something else. I'm gonna marry this year, so I'm engaged. I'm a bride, and what else? A member of the community for almost 4 months, so I'm kind of new, but I'm really into the all the purpose of this community. So like I said before, I'm Peruvian, so I'm native Spanish, and I'm helping with trying to reach more people from over the world. So I'm helping Celine with a community in Spanish that we are starting in Peru, but we are trying to get a lot of countries. So uh, prepare because we already started to 1 week ago, and this next week it's gonna be super great. So I wanna introduce Rodriguinho. Rodriguinho, I don't know if you are there, but
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
Hi, Rodriguinho. I want to tell that your video was amazing. Now I know your face, so I
Yeah,
want
I
to.
keep secret.
Yes, was great. So Rodriguinho, he is 33 years old. He is studying Red Hook for since 2014 in a lot of courses, and since then he loved the community, and he's still with us since then. And he works in a lot of agencies in Curitiba. He's a copywriter, and right now he's in the São Paulo market. And he likes a lot of video games, football, like all Brazilian, and enjoy with a lot of people. So, Rodriguinho, this carnival, you are on.
Yeah. Thanks for describing it very well. In my case here, I have to be honest. I don't prepare anything about this person because I know she very well. Is Celinha. Celinha is a old friend for me. I know her. I think more 10 years nowadays. She has something that I appreciate in her is that she has a natural powerful to leadership. She's a strong woman and at the same time a person that you, if you need the help, she you be there for you and in every time in independent if you are in Brazil or in other country. Celinha make part of the Curitiba community. She is a kind of I think nine wonder in the world. uh, I love Celinha, so it's easy to me describe her. And I stopped for here because the life just started.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Rodriguinho, for describing me in such a nice way. Well, we are going to talk more about this and many other things during this live, but I want to introduce you guys, your host here. Such a long time. Oops, I don't know what happened here, but everybody disappeared from me. We are back. So I want to introduce you, Mari. Mari is an amazing person. It's easy for me to talk about her because I've met her when she was like 18 years old. She was my intern here in Brazil, in Curitiba. Now she's living in Ottawa, in Canada. I hope I just said it right. And she loves communication, but marketing, but she likes to innovate. So she's a kind of person that's always looking for a challenge. And she's also very generous. She likes to share everything she learns with everybody, not only personally, but also professionally. And that's the reason why she accepted the challenge to be the host and leading this Creative English Club here for us. Mari, that's your place. Take it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you said just now. And yeah, it's true. I come to love the Creative English Club because it's a nice space for all of us to grow together. Like Celinha said, English is not even my first language, so it's not like I'm one step above anyone here. We're all in common ground, and this is a place for us all to grow together, so we can be part of this integrated global market. So I'm very excited to see season 2 happen. So without further ado, I think we can get started and pull up some slides here so we can introduce some exciting news with all of you. And I would like to take a moment also to say thank you and appreciate everyone who's watching, especially from Brazil, because it's Carnival weekend. And if you're watching us today, that means that you're really dedicated to be here, and we really appreciate that. So we are starting here season 2 of the Creative English Club, but if you're new here, what is the Creative English Club? So it's an activity from the Redhook Creative Community where we create a space to talk about English. So we usually have a special guest every episode here, someone from a different country, not necessarily who has English as their first language, as we mentioned. So we've had people here from South Korea, for example, who are also communicating in English with us because that's how we connect. And they just bring something that is culturally different from what we're used to. And that way we create valuable conversations where we can learn new vocabulary and also create those international connections, right? So international networking, and it's an easy way to do so, especially now with the virtual scenario that we're living in. So for those new to Redhook in general, Redhook is a Brazilian creativity hotspot. So it started in Brazil, but now it's becoming more and more international as time passes, which is amazing to see. And it focuses on marketing and communications and basically contributes for the preparation and the growth of marketing professionals or anyone in the creative industry. So we're all learning with each other and constantly growing. So the physical headquarters, as we've mentioned, are in Brazil, specifically in the south of Brazil, in this beautiful place right here where we can see. there are some events that have happened there in the past and do happen also right now, but more sparsely, just because of everything being virtual. We can connect more people that way, and that's really where the value is. But as you can see here, in a beautiful sunny day, it's very nice to have everyone gathering together in the headquarters so we can create those connections face to face. Here are some more photos, just so everyone can really gather the sense of how family-like the hotspot can really be. And here are some examples of some awards that Redhook has been granted in the past. So this is just a reflection of everything that Redhook does. As Celia mentioned, I interned there for I think a whole year, and I've been touch and go like in content ever since. And I got to see firsthand the results of every single activity that Redhook puts out there. And it's just all the awards are nothing but a reflection of that, of true results coming to life. So what are some of our favorite activities in Redhook? There's a huge list to choose from, but we're going to highlight some here for everyone just so we can get a sense of everything in the repertoire. So connecting stories with opportunities. I would like to call Rodriguinho here so he can talk a little bit about our creative community and how we create connections, especially through the Red to Go program. So Rodriguinho, if you'd like to come on.
Yeah, I think Red to Go and other courses inside of the Redhook are so special because make you meet new people around the world, make you improve your portfolio, for example, if you have this desire. Uh, I participated in the last year of the Red to Go, and it was so amazing experience for me because I met different person around the world, New York, Europe, Australia. I don't remember the each person, but for me it was a different experience because last year I tried to work abroad, and this first step for so special for me to know very well what way, the correct way that I need to make to go to other country, for example. And Redhook make this way be more shorter. So if you have the dream to work abroad, try to be a part of the Red to Go and other courses that Celia every time send to us to subscribe, because inside of the Redhook it's possible to learn more every day. You have workshops, different kind of courses. It's so crazy the quantity, the menu of courses that is possible to find inside of the Redhook. So for me, I recommend for everyone, since if you it's intern or if you more older inside of the advertising or communication society, it's a very special experience.
Thank you so much, Rodriguinho. You really covered a lot of the values from the Red to Go, and I'm sure we can all appreciate to learn how that impacted your personal journey. And just complimenting here, the Red to Go is basically a career mentorship that is offered to all members of the creative Redhook community. So what's going to happen is you're going to be matched with a mentor and have you're going to set your own career goals. So it doesn't matter if you're switching from one field to the other. We've had people coming from other markets that are not necessarily communication or marketing and want to be part of this industry right now. So you're going to set your own goals, and everyone in the creative Redhook community is going to help you to reach those goals. So whether it be with learning new skills or just acquiring a more high quality network to where you're wanting to switch to, this is all going to be provided with the Red to Go and the career membership. So
I think if there is a key word to describe Red to Go is networking. It's amazing experience to you make a huge networking inside of LinkedIn or other social medias.
I couldn't agree more. One example that I always give when I'm talking about networking, specifically coming from an international scenario perspective and the Redhook community, is that, for example, in one of our labs that we did internationally, the Blue Hook, which is a hackathon that we do to help small businesses, I managed to get like one connection on LinkedIn with a professional who does marketing with songs and things that are very innovative. And when I went to participate in an online version of the South by South festival, which we've all also discussed here in the English Club, is a very like a highly known international creativity festival. I met someone there, and when I went to connect with them in LinkedIn, I had this connection in like mutual with both of them. So it's crazy how you can meet people from a different country and from different industries, and then find those connections, because it's a huge web, right, of creativity professionals all over the world. And if you know someone who knows someone, it's always going to get you somewhere. So I love to see those connections happen, and especially when it's like in a huge scenario, like we're really talking international. If you've watched the first season of the Creative English Club, with I think our first opening episode was with someone who works at Duolingo in the US, and having the connection on your LinkedIn is something so valuable. So yeah, there is really no downsides in making those connections. They're always going to come to fruition one day, one way or the other. So if we go off to our next slide here. And thank you, Rodrigo, again for going over this activity. It was so great to hear about your experience. So here we're just going to showcase a little bit about how we tell stories. So being a part of a community means that you have a story and a value there. So here are just some examples of our wonderful community members and how they've gained something from connecting with other people and then growing their own career. So for example, we have a duo here that is a great example of connection. That is Alina. Alina is a creative art director, and she has connected with a copywriter years ago when they met through a lab in Redhook. And they've created so many amazing things since then, including a podcast, including really talking about the creative industry as a whole, as young people entering the industry. So each person here is going to tell their own story and how connecting with other people has changed their path. So it's just incredible to see. And you can find all those videos in Redhook Creative channels as well. Here we have some quotes from valuable members of our community. So we have quotes ranging from what people are looking for in professionals from the marketing industry, as well as how they think we can change the industry by asking valuable questions and always seeking to innovate. We also have people here, again, both from Brazil, but people who were originally from Brazil and maybe now are living somewhere else. For example, Nat, she's just been living in the US for years now, and she always brings valuable insight when we have conversations with her. We also have people here who are even mentors in specific labs. We have a range of professionals coming from different places, so different backgrounds. We have art directing, but we also have marketing and more of a project management view. So there's just a range of professionals that are really interesting to see, and they all bring their own unique value to the community. And here I would like to call Valeria so she can talk a little bit about our international talks, especially the Latin community ones.
So yes, Mari, thank you. Like I said before, I'm helping with this. Try to reach the Latin market. So we started like 1 week and a half, and it's amazing until now. We have this connection with Círculo de Creativos del Perú. This is in Spanish, but it's kind of similar like Redhook, just with a different form way to reach students and a lot of people from the creative community in Peru. So we have we are working with them for we can reach more people, because always this is the main goal of Redhook: try to reach more people from the area, from creative people that are looking for one step more in their careers. So we did this, and this next week, starting on Monday, we are gonna have a week with every day we have a Brazilian or Peruvian professional that is gonna have like a course, a small course that we call in Spanish taller, where in practice they are gonna show how it's to be like a copywriter, what are the skills that they need, and they are gonna explain. Everybody that want to watch, you are already invited. You can subscribe for this week. And what else? We are starting in Peru, but the idea is to reach all the countries in the region that speak Spanish. So this is a way to be more related with Brazil too, because me and Celinha, we realized that Brazil is kind of separate with other countries from all the region, and that's really sad, because we are brothers, like neighbors, and we need to share all our knowledge in publicity and creative community. So I think that's I don't know if Celinha wants to add more things about this project, about this expansion of Redhook in the Hispanic community.
Yes, sure. Thanks, Paul. So yeah, the idea here is like we have the creative community, for example, and it's very, Mari, can I say accessible? Okay, the idea is like giving access to people in general all over Brazil, because Redhook is more like a place where people come in general, like an alternative to other schools, because you can do things inside Redhook because there are many free activities, like they said before. And as we were invited for the creative club of Peru to take these activities there, we started to do that together. But since my Spanish is not amazing, I asked about, can you please come with me, because then we can do these things in a better way. So understanding the market, understanding the people, their culture, what makes sense to them, because we can just apply exactly what we do here in Brazil, in Peru, or other countries. It's very important to understand that. So if we show like a little bit more the slides, we are going to show also like some mentors and professionals from Peru that already said that they are going to be here with us in this project to start to develop it better in Peru and also in the other countries. Hispanohablantes, como se fala, Valéria?
Yes,
Sorry, English.
Hispanic speakers, maybe. People
Spanish
that
speakers.
speak
Yeah,
Spanish.
yeah, exactly. Not only Latin America, but we also have like mentors from Spain and other countries, because the idea is making the connection. Virtually it's possible to share good things, to share culture, to improve your repertoire. And there are some words I have difficulty with, but that's the idea, and also giving people that are part of the community this opportunity of exchange, not only the language skills, but also culture and knowledge and so many things that we have to share with each other, like especially in Latin America, as you said, we are neighbors. So Brazilians need to know, Peru better. And because Peru already looks at Brazil, and other countries in Latin America looks at Brazil because of, economy. We are the biggest country, but we speak Portuguese. All of them speak Spanish. So the connection in general is a little bit difficult, but we are trying hard, and now we are going to make it, right, Val?
Yes, we are gonna make it in Español. So let's do it. Redhook, Hispanic, Latino. Hispanic speaker, right, Mary?
Amazing, yes. And I'm gonna show those next slides here. So showcasing a few of the mentors that Selena just mentioned, and it's really incredible to see how far the community goes. And just a side comment, like if you ever like find yourself in North America, you're gonna want to have those connections with Hispanic people and Hispanic professionals, especially the Latin ones if you're coming from a Latin country, just because there are so many cultural like similarities. And I find that sometimes, like you guys just said, there's a connection that happens between the other countries, especially because of the easiness that comes with having the same language, that sometimes Brazilians get a little cast aside from. But if you have those connections, and especially if you have the language, you can make those connections too, and that's going to come in handy in any country you're in, because you want to have that community by your side. It's something that's really important and that everybody seeks, especially in the professional world, but in the personal like perspective as well. So here we have Tammy. She is incredible, and she is currently in São Paulo, but she has like those connections with the Hispanic culture that really go really far. And she's I've had the pleasure of hearing a few of her talks here with Redhook, and she always brings such a high value with her conversation and her experience.
And I think Val can add something about Diana also, because I think you don't know Diana, but she's amazing also.
Yes, Diana, she's the vice president of Circle. Circle in English, Círculo in Spanish, because this is the name of the institute. And she work in Ecuador, and she studies cinema too. She have like a huge background, a heavy background, and now she's teaching. She's working with universities, trying to always teach the students about the purpose of the career. She's like the heart of the communication. She teach the theory, but at the same time she remember people why it's important to always have purpose in what they are doing. And she have like their own agency. The name is Marduk Design, and she is also director of strategic design and social too. She works with a lot of women too. She empower women to enter to the area of communication, and she's in a lot of groups of this kind. So she's our one of our mentors in the Redhook in Spanish, because like Celina, she's a huge person too. Diana always support this kind of information too.
Yeah, and it's very important to say that Peru is in this mission, and that's why, like the Creative Club, in Peru, is bringing her as vice president and also a person responsible for the education activities, which we are developing together. So we can put women, and she can be a good example. And Redhook, as having me and many other girls here taking like good position and being good examples, could like have an impact in Peruvian market, showing, and inspiring other girls, and in bringing more women to leadership in Peru. So we have, I think if you pass, we have other women here that are also, we have we have nice men, but that help it to develop the market also, and have awards, and they're very important people. But I think it's missing somebody. Just one back, Mari. Huh? Oh, it's missing Glenda. I'm sorry. Glenda is another very nice person that's already confirmed as mentor, and she's from Macan, Lima. She's a great leader also, and it's another good example of Peruvian market that we are going to bring as a mentor, specifically for the Spanish market. But it doesn't mean that you can't have them as your mentor. If you speak Spanish, all of them speak also English, and also the mentors that you showed before, everybody speaks English also. So if you come into the community, you can choose any one of them. So that's what we're trying to start, and actually trying not. We already started, and we are trying to, keep it rolling in the next months for Redhook Creative Community all over the globe.
Yeah, and I think we could spend like so much time talking about each of these individuals and their own like career paths and how they could bring like value to your own career path, considering especially that we try our hardest to match people with similarities in background and in goals. So you can really have that match and have a mentor that will guide you and know the struggles you're going for. So it's truly incredible if there's someone with a very similar background as you're trying to reach, and they're from a different country but you both speak the same language. There is no reason, like Celine said, that you're not going to make that connection happen. Yeah, and you can check all those amazing professionals out on LinkedIn and their social media. We have all the names here, so it's just one like search away from making those connections happen. I assure you, if you message any of these professionals saying that you heard about them through the Redhook Creative Community, they're gonna be so approachable and open the doors for you. So you can really make those connections happen, and they're gonna like be an open door so you can talk about your careers with them. Okay, perfect. And I want to show here also the other connections, international connections that Redhook has been cooking for the past couple of weeks. I mean, those connections have been going on for years now, but in a formalized manner for the like this year, the initiatives that have been growing. So for example, we have Gabby here with some initiatives with connecting Brazil with Portugal. So I'm sure that Selena can also compliment me here about everything that has been going on that end. But we have a language in common, but sometimes our cultures feel like so distant from one another, and there is no reason for us not to make that connection happen. So Selena, if you just want to talk a little bit about those talks as well.
Yeah, looks like easy, huh? Because we have the language in common, but it's not exactly the same Portuguese. I think when Gabi can talk, she'll tell you guys everything about these differences, especially between the culture, right? Because it is very different, especially when they speak fast. Portuguese is very different. But the idea here is that we approach and we start to do things together, because Portuguese people are interested, Portuguese creative or people that work with communication and marketing, they are interested in Brazil, because Brazil is one of the main markets in the world, like creatively talking. And Brazil always wins a lot of awards. And then all over the world, our creativity, our work are in this area, in this field, is very known. So means that we can make this, how can I say, internship, exchange.
Yeah.
Exchange. So we can make this culture exchange, and both parts can get a lot out of it, and we can improve our knowledge here, and they also can improve their knowledge there. So it's something we have been trying for a while, for a long time. And as you said, we already connected with them in different activities, as we did with US, and also Latin America in the past. But what we're trying to do now is make this more formal, more active, and bringing all these activities I've said before that we are taking to Peru, also taking to Portugal, and trying to do something more specific, considering their culture difference, their specificity. That's difficult word for me. Something very specific about their culture, about their market. I think those kind of things that we need to consider when you are going to work with people from different country, different region, as it happens here in Brazil. North and South is very different. And the first thing we're doing is like a creative course where we want to put people together, Portuguese and also Brazilians, and also in the creative community. The group for Portugal and Brazil is the same. So we understand each other. It's difficult sometimes, that we do understand each other, Portuguese, so we can have the same group for the Brazilian and Portuguese people, and separating a little bit like Spanish, because sometimes it's very difficult, and the English speakers also. But I think Gabi can tell us in a bit. She will tell us the difference, this difference, culture difference, because I haven't been in Portugal. I didn't live there. I don't know much. I know like superficially, you know.
Yeah, and just so everyone's aware, so this is an activity for those people who are branching out, like doing more than just going to their daily job. So that's why we have some mediators here who are a bit touch and go today. But like Sonia said, Gabby, she is busy at the moment, but she might be back right now in a few moments so she can talk more about it. So we'll just move on for now, but she will make her contributions in just a few. And we're going to be focusing now on what we're doing today. So the Creative English Club and the news for this season. So I'm sure that we've used the words creativity and innovation a billion times just today already. So, who would we be if we were not trying to innovate our own projects? So just so we cover a little bit more about the Creative English Club and how it is, how it's going to continue to be what it was with added activities. So like I mentioned in the beginning, we have guest speakers every week where they come in and they talk about their own industries and their own experience, and we can really have a chance to ask them questions and learn from them. And while we do all of that, I also take notes on our English skills. And at the end of every meeting, I come up with a little highlight of vocabulary words or things that we need to pay attention on. So we are constantly improving our language skills as well. And if you speak English, even if it's in your head, it's not enough. It is. You need to jump at the opportunity to practice, because it is a constant growth. I was talking to the mediators here just before we started our panel that even though my English rolls off the tongue easily, I still struggle sometimes. I still stumble sometimes, and there are still words out there that I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing, or I'm not even gonna be able to fully understand them because there's not a specific translation, or maybe I haven't seen them in a specific context before. So you have to first of all accept that it's a constant growth, and you're always gonna be learning something. It's never gonna be your mother tongue, because it's just not. You have your background and you should be proud of it, and you're adding on to it. So you need to value that. So if you have an English, I think the key word is just the key thing is just getting yourself out there. And this is a great way to do so because we're all learning together. So you shouldn't be scared of making any mistakes or having any questions, because we're all here with the same goal in mind. So we're going to continue to do those talks while also having some reviews. So that's something that we've been wanting to do for quite some time now. We're going to have separate sessions for the members of the creative community, so we can talk freely about the topics that we mentioned in conversations, but also answer some questions about specifically the English language and reviewing some things that we might have gotten wrong that we can improve on. So those review sessions are going to be key if you're really striving to improve your English skills. Also, something very excited that we're going to be sharing here is going to be the Redhook Creative Hackathon in English that has happened before, but it's something that we really want to try bringing back to. We're going to bring back to life here and try to engage as many people from different countries as possible. It's a project that I'm very personally attached to. Because I've seen firsthand how it impacts positively all the members who participate, but also the small businesses that we help. So it's a creative hackathon that usually happens during the course of one whole Saturday. So it's a whole day of activities. We're going to be working in a team, so you can create a plan for a small business to improve their marketing and solve any communication challenges that they might be facing. So it really makes a difference. 1 day of work from our side, where we are also gaining things from learning from our team members and creating those connections, is going to make a huge difference for that small business that might not have a lot of communication background or any resources to really seek that. So that's the Redhook creativity hackathon that we have. I think we have here the virtual talk. So if you also want to talk a little bit about how we are bringing guests from different, you have the biggest network I've ever seen. So how we're going to bring guests from other countries to come talk here as well.
Yeah. Actually, I brought Val back here because we already started it in Peru, as you saw in the slides before. We already done two, right, Val? Two talks in Spanish,
Yes.
exclusively, right? With special invited to announce the affiliation with the Creative Club and explain how it was going to work. And after that, we talked about the creative community, no, explaining how it works, like the creative community and how people can join it and getting the mentorship also. And we are going to start also in Portuguese from Portugal. Gabi is already separating some interesting guests that we can talk there, like in Portuguese, but different Portuguese, so we can start to assimilate, a little bit of culture and difference between work process there and here in Brazil and also in Peru and, other countries in Latin America. So it's going to be very interesting talks. And, of course, the Creative English Club is also a talk that's open in the channel. And all of them will be, open in our channel. So if people don't know it yet, or if they want to subscribe, it's important. So they will have access to all of these talks in different languages. I mean, 3 different languages.
Val, I think if you wanted to contribute something over the talks.
Yes, sorry, I thought that Celia already say everything. So these talks, like I said before, starting on Monday. And our first talk is with Renzo. He is Peruvian too, and he is a copywriting Houdini. So he's gonna.
Oh, no. Sorry, Val, I have to correct. The talks are the ones we have made, and the next one's like workshops, the talleres, no? You're talking about?
Yes. The talks. I'm sorry, I confused. So the talks, our next talks, we have already a confirmation of Stephanie. I think you already showed before a picture of her. She's Peruvian too, and she moved to Argentina. So this talk is gonna be super fun, super interesting, because she's gonna show us how she did this exchange, like moved from Peru to Argentina, and how are all the I don't know, maybe the difficult that she needs to pass to stay where she's right now. And so this is a great example for people that want to have a different opportunity over abroad, their principal country. So and our second oh my god, I forgot this word. How do you say in English convidado?
Yes.
Guest. I just remember. And our second guest, she's Peruvian too, and she works for the Coca-Cola company. She already she's studying. She's really young, but she's an illustrator, and she's gonna show us how Coca-Cola company found her on Instagram, and her story for do this amazing campaign for. She paint like in a lot of parts of Lima and Arequipa. It's another country in Peru. So it's gonna be super great too for the people that wants to know more about portfolio and everything like that.
It's Arequipa is another city in Peru, yeah?
Yes, it's another city. Yes.
Okay.
I think these are our second activities, like following the workshops. So we're gonna have then these talks. And Mari, I don't know anything else that you need right now.
No, that was great. Thanks so much, Val. I think that already reflects a lot of the objective of the talks here. And since we have Gabi here in the room, I would like to call her on to also talk about talk, since this is kind of what we were covering before. So what Val has talked about on how we are bringing people from Hispanic countries so they can share their story and make those cultural connections. Gabby has also been our little doorstep in Portugal. So Gabby, if you want to talk a little bit about how making those talks with professionals from Portugal has been for you, I think you can talk about your own experience with that on organizing these talks and bringing those people in and bringing all of those professionals together.
Oh, okay. So I think here in Portugal, I think everybody knows that we have a lot of Brazilian people here. Like our culture here is like is in everywhere you go, there's something made about the Brazilian people. So I think it's something really good about like try to connect these like two cultures, like Portugal and Brazil. And
Oh, I think Gabby's not available anymore, but we can bring her on later as well.
Just let's say the truth. Gabby is working, and she's also trying to participate with us because we insisted a lot, and she's super cool person. So she accepted the challenge. She must have somebody there asking for something. So she will be back when she can.
Yeah, and if you do speak Portuguese, which I think most of our audience currently watching us right now does, then you can get to know Gabby and all of the talks with her as well. So that's also something to reach out. There is enough content out there for you to really feast on. So go all for it, and we really appreciate her participation, nevertheless. So. Since we're bringing so much value here by each one of our mediators talking about their own experience, if we can bring Rodriguinho here as well. I talked a little bit about our Creative English Club meetings on season 1 and how they worked, and Rodriguinho was one of our participants in more than one. So if you want to talk about your own experience participating in those talks with the guests, I think that would be really great.
Yeah, I think my first time in the Rec to Go, for example, in the Creative Club also, it was so incredible because it was very shame, very constranged. I don't know if this is correct word, but I pressed myself to speak, and I sweating a lot in the first time. I remember this, but day by day, experience by experience, meeting by meeting, it was disappearing. I make more confident to try speak, make mistakes. I think mistakes makes us better in English or in Portuguese or in whole life. Mistakes make part of the whole process from knowledge. So for me, it was a great experience. For this reason, I sent a messenger for Celine for bring to us again the second season of the Creative Club, because it's an important experience, particular experience, and for the community creative experience. Sorry, for the community creative, it's a nice opportunity to improve your skills, improve your English. Uh, could be try to see with more clear your goals. For example, I started the Creative English Club thinking that I will go to the other country, and the middle of the process, I changed my mind to go another market from São Paulo. For after this, I will go to another country, because in the middle of the process, I realized that I not be ready to go another country yet, but I keep this in my mind to make more complete person for on this year, on the next year, go or try to opportunity abroad. So if you have some fears or doubts forgotten, come to us, because the process is easy, nice, and very fun.
That's amazing to hear. And I think what you mentioned is so important. Self-awareness is so important when making a big change, like moving countries. I see so many people, like, because we're so tight, the Brazilian community in Ottawa, specifically in Canada, we get to hear each other's stories. So not necessarily in the industry of marketing and creativity, but like all industries, there are a lot of people that come here and they're not ready yet, be it because of language barriers or because they're just like not where they want to be at on their skill set for their industry, and they give up. So it's harder. Like there's already going to be a lot of things against you when you make a move. So for example, the language, even if I thought I was like 100% fluent in English before coming here, but then when you're listening to English 24 hours a day, it gets exhaustive and your brain starts like going a bit slower. So there's going to be a lot of challenges regardless of where you're at in language skills, but also professionally. So if you already have some challenges in your way, it's better to consolidate them where you are so you're ready to make that change. So nothing stops you. So nothing is telling you to give up, right? So if you're going to make a change, do it, go for it, but make sure you're ready so it doesn't come back to get you, right? So self-awareness is something so important, and I'm so glad to hear that our talks here have helped you, and I'm sure they can help people in different ways as well. So if we bring the slides back, we can also talk about some other opportunities that we're gonna have here this season. Thank you again, Rodrigo, for sharing. So first of all, portfolio reviews. That's something that Redhook has been doing for years and years, and it's also it's always something that is very high praise from the students. But we've always done them in Portuguese, right? So there's no reason for us not to bring that in English as well. So for specifically like the creatives in our community, so people who have a portfolio and want to showcase that and want to receive feedback on that, it's really great for them to show that portfolio, and specifically especially the translated one. I know that people have been working on translating some of their pieces so they can reach those international opportunities and receiving feedback on that. So maybe something you're translating, if you're a copywriter, is accurate language-wise, but it could be a little like better if you understand a different culture in a way that you can make it more adaptable. That's going to be something that a mentor can bring to you on a portfolio review, and it's very it's something that can really change how international workers and people who can hire you, be it for freelance or an actual work opportunity, they're going to be seeing those things and thinking those things. So it's better for you to have that feedback beforehand, so you increase your chance of getting those jobs. So in the same line of thought, for those of us who don't have a portfolio, the interview is probably the most important part of a hiring process. And even for those of us who do have a portfolio, the interview is still going to be something that you need to be ready for. So here in Canada, I mentioned to Celinha that we have mock interviews, which are simulations of interviews, job interviews, that we do to practice our presentation skills and how to showcase our skill sets and our background in an appealing way, tailored to specific opportunities. So you're not going to be answering the same questions in the same way for all of the jobs you're interviewing for, right? So depending on what position or the company you're talking to, there's going to be a lot of differences to take into consideration. And that's something that we want to practice in mock interviews, and doing it in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. So doesn't matter the language you're striving to work in, you still need to, if you're planning on getting a better job or planning to move careers, you still need to be ready for the interview process. And we're going to bring in mentors to have mentors who work with HR or hiring positions to do the mock interview with you. So simulate a real interview and then give you feedback. Feedback is the most valuable thing you're going to be walking away with from those activities, so you can improve yourself and be on that constant growth. Doesn't matter, like Rodrigo said, if you're an intern or if you're already a coordinator and you're striving to go up and up that ladder, or move positions in a lateral way. So professional showroom, like we mentioned so many times here, the community is a great place to meet people. And how you're going to meet those people is you're going to be exposing yourself and exposing your LinkedIn profile and your CV and so much more. So your portfolio, and when you get a chance to make a video or be in a talk like we have here, our mediators, you're always going to be exposing yourself and also seeing other people from the community expose themselves in a good way, and see how different people can connect and help you get to where you want to be. So maybe you're a copywriter and you want to meet other art directors so you can make a project together. Or maybe you really want to work for a company and you see someone who works there, like be it in a different position than what you're striving for. It's still going to be something that if it's showcased, it's gonna come in handy for you as well. And the Creative Cultural Challenge, I think Salinha can talk more about it too. So I'm not here just ranting by myself.
Oops, sure. Yeah, sorry, I was down there. No, yeah, that's the idea. Is like, since we are starting all these activities in Spanish, Portuguese, and English, it's that at some point we can connect these three languages, but in a fun way. Like you see these memes, and other things. Like we can make a challenge that's fun to discover. So if you speak English, you can try to discover, como você, sorry, charadas.
Like puns?
Something, or some expressions, like understanding like specific expression in Brazil, in Portuguese, or Peru in Spanish, or, like just saying. So that's like a game, but funny game that we are going to try to learn, but having fun but live in a, like in a quiz or something, but fun quiz for the language, connecting the three languages.
That's awesome. And doesn't matter where you are. Again, I need to repeat that because it's so important. The three languages are going to be important to you. Like, I wish I knew Spanish, even though I'm like living in a country that speaks English and French. Like, sometimes I wish I had the Spanish just so I could connect with people, even in my personal life. Like, if I go to a Latin party because I miss like Latin music and Latin food, I'm still not going to be able to talk to most people there because I don't speak Spanish and I can only talk to other Brazilian people. So it's a connection that's going to like be like come in handy in so many different ways in your life. And finally, we also have the labs. So if you're already a part of the community, you already know what labs are, but it's basically like a workshop or a learning environment where you're going to be developing your hard skills. So we talked a lot about like language skills and setting your career goals, but that comes hand in hand with actually having the skills to perform on the role you're striving to work in. So we're also going to be offering those labs in English besides the ones in Portuguese and Spanish. So if you're an English speaking person, you can also be learning those skills. But also, if you're a person who speaks Portuguese or Spanish as your native language, you can learn in English and learn the vocabulary in English for that specific skill set. So maybe you know how to do copywriting in Portuguese, but do you know how to read a creative brief in English and dissect that and learn how to present your ideas in English? That's going to be a chance for you to practice that. So, Celine, if you want to complement that as well.
Yeah, that's the idea. We're going to start with the labs, especially because of the process, right? Because sometimes the process is a little bit different in one country. And then since people are starting to think of moving to, like Canada, US, Europe, or, so it's very important that we try this here. That's why it's a lab, so you can try it for real with a creative director or a planning director. So you start to do this inside Redhook with our projects in the lab and also in the creative hackathon, right?
That's right. And I think that's a great overview of all of our meals. We're already like closing up on the hour as well. So I'd like to thank everyone again for staying that long, and also just round up on who can be a part of this. So the Creative English Club, we've talked a lot about everything that's been going on. So what does it take to be a part of it? It's very simple. You just need to speak English. And that doesn't mean a fluent English. That doesn't mean like highly advanced English. I know you're harder on yourself than everyone else would be. So as long as you can understand a conversation and keep up and speak in the any speed you're comfortable with. That counts. So you just need to be comfortable with that and be available on the times that we have the meetings. Be a member of the Redhook Creative Community. That comes hand in hand with everything that we've mentioned. So the Red to Go, like the career orientation and all of that, and just go for it. So it's as simple as that. And I look forward to having everyone here. It's a learning experience for everyone involved, including me. So it's very exciting to be back, especially with everything new that's coming on. So thanks again. And I think if Rodriguinho and Celinha want to just speak a last word before we round up, I think like a last word of motivation, that would be great.
Yeah, I think we have the opportunity to make a mix of creativity that our first goal, I think, or no, my word is about creativity. I work with this. I forgotten the correct date that I started inside of the creativity, but creativity make part of my life since I was child. So you here you can mix creativity of the opportunity to improve your English, and same time meet new people around the world. If you thinking in, this is not for me, yes, it's for you, try, not to have afraid. Send a message for Celine for learn more, understand more about the process, or send a message to me or for Mario, for other person, because it's a good experience. It's a good experience. I think this is the we have here the best of two worlds, creativity and the opportunity to meet new person, make a new networking inside of LinkedIn and other websites and social media. And if you thinking in starting, come to us, because it's a great opportunity. It's so different of traditional school English. Here we not here to teach you about the grammar or some different words. Sometimes Mari make this role about the teacher, but here it's you make a mistakes. It's free. It's a kind of free space to make mistakes and improve, and we go together inside of this way.
Awesome. Thanks, Rodriguinho. Val, if you want to speak next on the value of the Creative English Club.
Yes, like Rodriguinho said before, for example, me, when I was learning Portuguese, I learned just in here in the country. So it was talking with native people and Brazilian and co-workers and friends and everything. So that's what Rodriguinho said. I repeat too, because you don't need to be afraid to speak, to make mistakes, because mistakes are part of life. So it's okay, and don't have this shame of speak a word correct and not correct, like me. I don't practice too much English, so in my mind I'm like in Portuguese. Oh my god, a lot of words are here. So don't be afraid, just join us, because it's going to be a great season. Because a difference of the other season, this season we have also a Spanish club. So like in here we can share, of course, of cultures. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity, like Rodriguinho said too. It's a practice of creative, not just practice of grammar and this stuff. Like it's very technical here. It's specific for creative, and so I'm very happy to be part of this. So I think this is, I have to say, I think it's gonna be great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Val. And Selina, any final words to give that like final push for people who are still doubting being a part of this?
Well, thanks, Mari. And thanks everybody else, and thanks everybody that was watching us, because it's Carnival weekend, so we still had like some people watching us so far. And yeah, the idea of the English Club is exactly that. It's coming here and speaking, trying, and learning. If about after any meeting you learn something new, some expression, some word, it's worth. And then in the next week you're going to make it better and better and better until you feel comfortable enough. And actually that I speak Italian and Spanish on my way, of course, and also English like this. And I have never been to an English school in my life. I've learned at the time, I've learned using like copy of books to learn the verbs and some expressions, because I didn't have money to pay for a course. So I've done on my way, like memorizing verbs and expressions, and then going out there and trying to talk to people. Whenever I had a chance, I would go there and try, even if I made a lot of mistakes. And then that's exactly how I've learned to speak this language that I speak now. That helps me a lot to go out there and communicate with people. So that's why we created the Creative English Club, because we saw people struggling. In the first creative hackathon we have made in English, me and Mari, in 2021, I guess. And then we thought, we need to help people. We need to create this space where people can come and talk and not being afraid, and having this chance. Because like living in Brazil, if you don't travel a lot, or if you don't have the chance to travel, even if you like get an app on your phone, because nowadays you have so many apps that can help you to start with English or any other language, sometimes you miss somebody to talk to. Even if now you can also find apps like that, but here the idea is like, we want to talk about subjects that we are interested in, and learning some specific words and expression related to this subject, which is creativity, communication, and marketing. So you can still learn different things, but also very straight to the point, to relate it to your profession. So that's our motivation to create the Creative English Club. That's our motivation to improve it every time, every season. And all this news that we just introduced to you is coming from comments and things that we realize that would be nice to have in this next season. And we will keep improving it in order to make it a better experience to everybody that's trying, that's coming here and participating. So that's the whole idea of this meeting and the Creative English Club. So thank you so much, Mari, for making it possible. Without you, I could not just start this project, because she's managing everything, correcting our text and helping us with the words, with the vocabulary and everything. So as I said, she's super generous person, professional. So I wanted to thank you here for the previous season and for this one that's coming now, because it demands a lot to come here and do this for free, just because you love it and you love sharing and you love helping us to improve ourselves.
Oh, thank you for making it possible, especially with this amazing space that we create here for the Redhook Creative Community. Like, there is no activity with no people, and it's all for all of us. So yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, and I hope everyone watching can join us as well. As Rodriguinho just gave us a nudge here, you can also get to know more about the Creative English Club just by watching the past season. If you haven't already, we have a playlist on the Redhook channel on YouTube. It's very easy. It's just gonna pull up like all the videos, like one after the other, and you can pick and choose whatever makes more sense for you, what you're more interested in, just so you can get a feel of what it truly is. And to be a part of this, if you're not yet, there's a forms in the description of the video, so you can just click there and make it happen. So thanks everyone, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week, hopefully.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you for this. Thanks, Celine, again.
Thank you all.